I got a good traveling voice. So.
yeah. It's always nice having that deeper tone, and it's just kind of, it's almost like ASMR or whatever, where like people just like fall asleep to your like low deep voice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've learned I've got a good voice for this, but I'm trying to learn how to, like, I'm a singer in a kind of heavy metal band as well now, and that one is so much harder to try and project myself that way. It's funny the difference between singing and playing, and the way your voice works,
100%,
and then just singing by itself.
I've shown people recordings of me singing and whatnot, and people are always like, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
that's me. And they're like, no, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's because the tone changes and the way I sing changes. And
oh, totally. You have to rethink breathing.
Oh yeah, which is like fundamental.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with our songs in Social Silence. I've gotten to a point where it's very muscle memory that I can kind of put it in the back of my mind and play, and that's how it should be. And I'm so comfortable, I don't have to think about how I'm singing, mouth or breathing or anything, right? And I just go for it. And then with this band, it's like I'm trying to read the lines and I'm fumbling over it because you're running through so many more mental processes all at once. And by the end of it, I'm like huffing and puffing because I'm like, fuck, I wasn't even paying attention to breathing.
Well, how do you find versus like, you know, as you said, with the muscle memory and, you know, playing and singing? Because I couldn't, for the longest time, couldn't play and sing at the same time, and then now I can do bass and sing, but there's no way I can do any of like actual riffages and sing. But how do you find that versus like being in front of a camera doing like the local band smokeout stuff?
Like comfort wise?
Yeah, like you know, not stumbling over words.
Well, for me,
projecting.
I mean, I'm definitely I'm natural when it comes to talking. You know, that's why Kevin Smith being one of my idols and stuff. I don't mind going on a long diatribe, that's for sure. But so actually the camera thing was very comfortable and natural because I just turn it into the person I'm talking to, you know, so I treat it like the audience is sitting there. So then that wasn't a problem, and then having someone like Steve just to bounce off of, it became just like hanging out with a buddy, kind of like this or anything. And then with the singing and playing, that's its own battle because I'm not a guitarist or anything either. Yeah. So I never have been a person who sang and played anything. So even just like sometimes when a guitarist is just playing a riff they know over and over again, they just start talking to you about something completely different. But they're not fucking it up. I'll totally start stumbling over my bass line and stuff. Yeah. So with ours, I really have to pick and choose. I say I'm third singer in my band because I have to pick and choose where I can sing. Yeah. Like Age of Hypocrisy, I wrote all the vocals, but I don't sing until the very end just because I'm playing crazy bass. Yeah. That it's like I'm kind of the lead in the song. Yeah. So I can't bother to pay attention to singing. Yeah, there's times where I've had to like dumb down my bass line a bit. Yeah, exactly that too. It's like thinking the way a guitarist would think with rhythm guitar and lead guitar, right? Exactly. So like it takes me back just to my Ramones and the different bands that I really like. I think on just like the quarter notes and just the dung 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 dung, just really repetitive part. But then I can start thinking about the microphone and singing and everything. Exactly. The hardest one for me was one song that I do an entire verse and it's switch riff and start singing right away, and that's how I wanted it. Yeah. So that one took me a long while where I just didn't have my first two lines for the longest time. Yeah. And then I had all the lines, I was filling all the space, but I couldn't put them in the right order because it was more important that I was just always landing and making sure that I start where I need to start, because if I screw that up, I screw more up than anything. If I repeat a line and say it twice over, people listening to me don't know what I'm supposed to be saying anyways. Yeah. So that one comes from an adage that my band teacher in high school taught me and my drummer, that if you screw something up, play it again. Yeah. Because the people watching you don't know, and they assume that you know what you're doing. Yeah. You're practicing this, so if you play it again, that must have been what you're trying to do, right? Exactly. So those types of things, I guess it's just a matter of I got no problem, I got no shame, I got no problem screwing up in front of people. Yeah. It's more of my own like inward, make sure you do it. It's a little bit of like the sports athlete in me that's like always grew up practicing profusely, that it's like I call myself out really quickly on shit, so that way I can be like, no, you didn't do it right, and you'll get it next time though, or whatever. Do you find when you release a song, when you put a song out into the wild, and it's up for other people, have you had other people interpret your songs different than what you've interpreted them as? Well, unfortunately we only have like the 2 recordings and a demo out right now, so it's really a small sample size, but I'd say more with the actual band, like with our genre. you know, we don't really get to classify ourselves anymore when it comes to what genre we are.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
all three of us are big punk fans, firstly.
Yeah.
You know, but then we each bring in different influences, and we've definitely come out of it a bit of a metal band, even though we're still all three. We want to be, all three of us want to be in a skate punk band.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the band we're in, and we fucking love it. You know, it does become a bit, like you say, it gets into the wild and then it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Like it's now just part, I don't know, I think it's its own character. Like
and that's the nice thing, like not trying to vie yourself into a genre, like let yourself be what you are.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about it for us, is it's given us the chance to always be able to just make something different. Like our songs, I always say, like Age of Hypocrisy is a good example of 3 of our songs. Big Ben is a good example of about 3 or 4 of our songs.
Yeah.
But then we've got 9 or 10 songs now.
Yeah.
So there's still other songs that I can't really describe to you because I don't have a resource or an example.
Exactly.
But that I enjoy too, because we've known each other so long, and we know like our influences differ from Black Sabbath to Nirvana to Leftover Crack and everything in between.
Yeah.
That it's like just somebody does it and the other two are like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And we just, you know, I like that factor, because I played in a band in Calgary where I was the drummer, and although me and the guitarist were buddies and roommates and we wanted like a new metal band, it became what Derek wanted, and I all of a sudden was just playing drums. I was trying to play drums that I didn't even want to play, and I was trying to run before I could walk and that sort of thing. And that wasn't as much fun, because every time you did try to like say, hey man, this might sound cool in there, it was like you were really destroying something he had worked hard on, and he has the entire outline and idea of what it should be. Yeah. You know, so then it's not I don't think it's a good cohesive setup that way as much so, because then you're almost just a piece in someone else's bigger picture.
Which is fine if everyone knows, you know, if everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. If totally. If there's bands where one person is the leader and he's, you know, almost like Miles Davis. He's handing out the parts to everyone, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely like I was saying to you, I like everybody pulls their percentage equally, right? And that doesn't mean everybody has to do the same jobs, right? Yeah. You know, I've always said that one person might be really good at digital media and art and stuff, so you've got an artist within the band who does all your logos and your designs, and another person might be the awesome online social media person. Other person might be just throwing songs at you like crazy, and he's just a jukebox. So everybody can have their piece, but it becomes pretty obvious when one person isn't doing something. Very true.
Very true. Do you think you guys like as you were saying a little earlier, you've kind of switched from modes from getting any gig you can to kind of being a little more selective on what you're playing. Do you think you'll be coming on tour, going more distance, or just kind of hitting festivals as you can, kind of thing?
Well, for me, I mean, I'm always my mentality is I just want to play another stage, another city. That's personal for me. It's just a certain drive. I find it fun. Like I've been saying, I don't care about going to Disneyland really in my life. Never have been. But getting in a van with a bunch of stinky friends and traveling around to shitty bars and whatnot, exactly. That excites me and whatnot. So like that's why I ended up managing Under the Mountain, because my band was kind of on the rocks and whatnot. And it's like, well, if these guys want to do it and they just need someone to help them, I've got all that drive and I want to do it. But with this band, I love the guys, but I can't totally trust that we could plan that out and do it, because Luke is working in the film industry right now and stuff, so his schedule can be kind of sporadic and whatnot. And then Josh he's a homeowner, owner, operator, like delivery guy and stuff like that, and has been a bit of a workaholic for a long while, so it's always been my own battle of being like, man, this is for you, this is for fun, like this is for the band, this should be something to be able to be like, get out of all that, right? That stress and get away from it. And he's an impulsive guy, and he always wants to go on tour. So if I could slowly, like these sorts of things, like play Vancouver, play New West, maybe be able to get out into the interior, like just kind of, it's almost like if I can just slowly stretch it out, that'd be awesome. Stuff like the Island and Calgary have really great similar scenes and stuff. They get along really well. Like bands like Chunkosaurus and stuff, they play there now with that 420 Fest regularly. And I would love to get us out there too, because like I know a lot of people in that scene, and it'd be a lot of fun to be able to finally get my band out there. But like I say, knowing that it's quite a
track.
Well, a band is, I always say, it's a relationship like a marriage or a girlfriend or anything like that, where you really gotta treat it like more than just going and having fun with your friends. You know, I've gotten into arguments before with my drummer about the fact that he loves playing on stage and he'll always be there to play, but sometimes that's his biggest driving ambition. It's just the actual physical playing, but being in a band, there is a lot more. Yeah. That's actually, from the outside, it seems like that's all it is, but when you're in a band, there's so much more to keep that machine running.
Well, and that's the thing, like, you know, having different people having different goals or what they consider, you know, what they're doing is different with every band. You know, you have the Weekend Warriors, the guys that like just get together and just play. They maybe play a gig every couple of months at the same pub. You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we're on stage kind of thing.
Oh, really? It's the boys getting together.
Yeah, you know, and you get some beers, and you have that one night where everyone gets blackout drunk, and you know, and then you're up on the stage doing a backflip with the guitar in the back. And then you have the guys that are putting more drive and effort into, or even the types that are studio musicians that are cranking out record after record.
Yeah, well, because sometimes they see that. They're like, well, I don't have the other people, but that one person. Exactly, totally. And that's why I say I end up I'm willing to help other bands, right? Because it's like, I can see it very quickly when you see everybody in the band is in this thing and they're fully committed, right? And because it's not hard nowadays to produce your own music, to get yourself out there, to do this stuff. And I always say you have to fake it. You got to promote yourself. You've got to pretend you're the biggest deal until other people start doing it for you anyways, right? And with this band, it's just you know, at this point, we don't have to, you know, build ourselves up or puff our chest out or pretend or anything like that, right? Yeah. Because people, they enjoy us, they tell us, they show up, they're stoked about us, and they ask us to come play and stuff.
Yeah, like I remember seeing you guys at the Railway Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or, no. That was Malevolence when I was managing for them.
Right.
No, but that's just it. That's why. Yeah, I worked with them. I worked with Under the Mountain, Vogue Villains, different bands, because that you know it and they want to do it. There, you can see how much they're producing and putting out there, and like they're fully committed, right? Yeah. And then I know I'm not going to be let down either.
Exactly.
You know, because I'm going to still show up, even if I'm not playing in the band. If I've told you, yes, I'm going to get you shows, you've told me what dates, then now I'm going to commit myself the same way I would as if I were playing in the band and whatnot. And that's just the thing with the guys in my band. I've accepted that it's like, I enjoy what we're doing, and we're progressing. If we can get a single recorded just to get some new music out there, we got 2 songs that are kind of like 70 or 80%. We just need to really get them finished. Yeah. That if we could be playing those by Fallen Fest, I'd be really stoked. Yeah. So it's like, I just want to see progress, right? Yeah. But I'm definitely not putting a lot of weight into it the same way, because it's my stress relief, right? Yeah. Like that's why I'm going 110% into my own schooling to just kind of make myself better because of those types of things. It's like you could go insane trying to just drag these weights. Totally. And not that, you know, like I don't mean it like my buddies are weights to me, but you know, you're just creating more frustration for yourself trying to make something happen that you might know is like, dude, you're making it hard on yourself, right? Yeah. Whereas I could go to school, I could do these things, I can come out of it, maybe start my own agent business or whatever, you know? And then just have bands that I'm working with. And then when it's like, sweet, I don't want to deal with that stress. Hey guys, we got a gig? Awesome. I get to go headbang and dance around like a fool? Wicked. Like, because that's not work to me anymore, right? Like I say, muscle memory on the songs. I practice them for fun every now and then, right? But when it comes to playing, I'm not nervous about playing those songs. I know them through and through and whatnot. Like I found it kind of interesting that Luke was a little nervous before our 2 shows in November, just because we hadn't been jamming a lot, being that, you know, jamming has to really be planned out and stuff when we're across the water. And me and Josh, we were just like Josh, I mean, his biggest fault, he's a phenomenal drummer, but he doesn't practice. And he'll admit that, but it's one of those things. Me and him, we can just sit down and we're best friends. We've known each other since grade 8 or grade 9. We've been bassist and drummer in so many different iterations that now it's just natural. Even if we're fucking up, we'll fuck up together and it'll stay the time. Yeah. Like there's one part in one of our songs, it's a breakdown that kind of lulls down to just drum and bass. And Josh very nutty drums, and his two bars, one has an extra halftime beat, whereas the other one doesn't have that. And it's gotten to the point where we both almost play without full trust for each other.
Yeah.
If you know it, you can hear how we're like waiting till the very last second of the beat to change, and like we'll drag things out. But I kind of love it though at the same time, because we're definitely not a click track band.
Exactly.
But we're a great band to see live that way, because it's a real energy for sure.
Well, and it's one of the reasons why when I was looking through and picking bands for Fallen Fest, you know, everyone that was applied was great and awesome, but the people that like made my list, my mental list, put on a great show, and are musicians, and just they have an organic energy. And
yeah, I'm really looking forward to this lineup.
Yeah, and it's such a weird, crazy lineup. We have everything from like really heavy stuff to kind of like garage rock to like the opening act is like a K-pop idol group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
Very interesting. But I'm super excited because they're freaking awesome, and it'll be a really cool day, and everyone's gonna put on killer shows. I know it, and the venue's great.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah. It'll just be fun to have everyone there, and we'll have a couple food trucks, and
okay, nice.
Yeah, it'll be a whole event kind of thing. So
yeah, I think it's really wicked what you've been doing with that. You're building a few brands at once, really.
Yeah, really trying to course the scene. I mean, that's what we do here, support the scene. Is everything from music, acting, theater, because there's all these different music. Film is integrated into music.
Yeah.
There's all these different cool scenes going around Vancouver, and we're trying to bridge the gaps between a lot of them.
Oh, totally. Makes sense. Yeah, get people working together, even if you're not playing music, but you're a videographer. And stuff like that. Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, just because everyone here is working for the same thing, just trying to live, you know, like make Vancouver the best it can be, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Vancouver Island is always interesting to me because some of the most talented musicians I've ever seen have come from Nanaimo.
Yeah, no, I would not deny we're a nice little hidden gem. Unfortunately, being more and more discovered, really. In a sense, it's one of those things. Could hit a point where people like me who have grown up mostly in Nanaimo can't really afford to live there and whatnot.
Really?
Because, well, I've always said that I could see definitely kind of Nanaimo, Vancouver Island area there becoming a bit of like Manhattan or Staten Island, right?
Very, very true.
Because anybody couldn't afford to HeliJet or Harbor Air back and forth.
Yeah,
it's cheaper to live there and work here.
Very true.
If you just do that instead of commuting from Richmond or somewhere outside of actual downtown. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, like I'm in the middle. I battle with it because I'm an anti-capitalist punk rocker and whatnot, but at the same time, I do want to see some proper growth because Nanaimo's economy kind of sucks. Yeah. And like a restaurant never lasts. They always opening for 6 months, and then maybe 6 months later they're doing their grand closing and stuff. Yeah. We just there's just not a lot of growth because there's a lot of battle between ages. You've got baby boomers and you've got younger generations who are both vying for control. Yeah. Like we're conservative green. The two leading poll getters in the last election there were green and conservative, so it's such a mixture. And I mean, I relate to the same idea of trying to create more cohesiveness between all the different performing arts and whatnot, and that's something that does work kind of well in Nanaimo for the most part. It's a very artistic city for sure, and like what I love is all my band logos have been drawn by my friends and stuff, and like Angela Gramuza, she is just doing phenomenal work at this point. Like so many different bands she's doing their art for and whatnot. Like I think Wraith was just the last one that I just saw. She displayed their logo and whatnot, and it's just really cool that everybody does believe in that mentality. Definitely. I mean, it's a little more hippie on the island, so so everybody is a little closer, kind of communally like that and whatnot. It's a smaller city, being under 100,000 people. You know someone, or you're way less than 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon away from them and stuff. So it's one of those things that I really appreciate that. That's why I really noticed it when I was in Calgary, the clickiness, because it's so different. Yeah. Whereas like on the island, we love these types of bills like you got for Fallen Fest. Yeah. It's like hit me with a different band now for something completely different. Like I remember for us it'd be like Legion shows was like Unicron and Ninja Spy and fucking some like emo-y pop punk band like
well, I
Perfect Trend
remember
or whatever.
the first ever experience of Namo I had was the Big Easy Fest.
That one, yeah. The biggest fucking show in Nanaimo that I missed out on.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, because like you went there, I saw what was it?
Thrice and Protest the Hero.
Yeah, but
Classified
even the smaller acts that were on the smaller stages, because I got there at like 11.
I feel like No Operator probably would have been on something like that.
That was a little before them. What's the there's a guy named Ghosty Boy that played in like a funk vigilante.
Yeah, Funk Vigilante.
Those guys blew my mind, and I was like, what is this? And then
where are they from? Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were an American band.
No.
Oh, okay.
They had a huge fuck George Bush. That was their big thing.
Oh, okay. But they were a Canadian band. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they had such an American political song. I thought they were American.
Yeah, and then but the thing is, there was something Parachute. It was someone. There was like their big comeback thing, and like. You know, I had no clue who this band was, and all of a sudden it was like Goodbye Parachuters or something like that.
Okay,
and like they set up, and then you know there was like 20 people in front of all these different stages.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden like they set up, and like it was like seeing Alexis on Fire. They were so good, like Homeboy Heroes kind of you could vibe, where everyone knew where they were giving people shout outs left and right, you know, and
that's what I love about like Canby shows. That's how it is.
Yeah,
that's that vibe back home. Like that's what's really funny. Canby in Vancouver to Canby in Nanaimo, totally different setups. They have the same outside image from people who don't know them.
Yeah,
but one is true, one is you know, Lamborghinis and Mercedes out front at nighttime.
Yeah,
but I that's definitely what I love about it is like in Calgary, like I was saying, it's cliquey, so you see that within a group. Yeah. Like if it's a whole black metal show, all of them know each other and whatnot, and they're friends. But like for my band, we were always like the one weird one on the bill, so it was hard to kind of win people over in a sense. Whereas I always felt like if I had just taken that band and moved it to the island, people love weird, they love different, they love unique. Really, it's just like don't come up and try and be like them. Come up and be you know, like
exactly.
that sort of thing. And definitely it leads to awesome kind of shows where the crowd is very much involved. Like Under the Mountain shows normally always have War Pigs with like 9 of us on stage all belting out the lyrics together and stuff like that. Or when Bort, I guess this is probably like 2 years ago now or something, when Bort and 9 O'Clock Gun and 88 Mile Trip and all that. They did a big island tour, and so they covered Under the Mountain covered Sordid Beast by Monster Truck. Yeah. So all the guys in the band had a big flash mob of dollar store pirate swords. Awesome. So right when they started playing Sordid Beast, you just had like 15 hairy guys all dancing around in the mosh with these swords, sword fighting each other in the Canby and shit. And it's like I definitely there's a certain just humorous community that like I love it.
well and that's what means what drives people to become fans of bands is that sense of community, you know?
The camaraderie and stuff. It's,
like knowing the band and being able to, when you guys get a little bigger, be like, I knew them back when they were under 300 likes on Facebook. You know, it's like, or it's like, yeah, man, like I know so and so in the band.
Exactly.
And like you know, it's that it's that under indie vibe, and then when they get bigger, you know, like I can say stories of meeting Monster Truck on our first Vancouver date ever, and getting, you know, he Jeremy came out with the album and he was super excited to meet us, and we got to, you know, he was like, oh, thanks guys, coming out taking photos.
For him it's a huge
thing. And then now they're, you know, off doing huge tours.
And it's probably hard for him to remember exactly.
But you know, and
that's how I feel about We in Buffalo right now. Like I'm really happy for those guys because they're just
killing it.
They're just blowing up every year. It seems like they're just getting more shows right now. So like I totally agree with you because it's cool and interesting. Like since I started doing Local Band Smokeout, I've had some of my personal most favorite experiences. And they probably seem kind of stupid or pointless to other people. But like to me, just like getting to listen to a master with the band
Yeah.
Just the first time they've heard it, you know, it's the first time I'm hearing it too.
Yeah.
Those are really cool and interesting experiences, because to me it's like, well, I don't think of myself as much, but you guys must think I'm, you know, credible or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool when somebody that, maybe you didn't expect to ever meet them or know them or become friends with them in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know when you became peer to them, right?
Exactly.
You know, you just you've always still been fanboying out or something, and at some point you realize, like I had it with Andrew from Chunkosaurus, like he's a ridiculous bassist, and I love watching him play, and I caught him spacing out on me when I was playing, and I had a little bit of like my own weird moment of like, oh, holy shit, am I? No. Yeah. No, he's not actually. He's just stoned or something, right? But no, it's kind of a weird thing. It's like my dad's a musician and played in the Victoria scene in the 70s and 80s, and for him, he always talks about the time that he saw somebody he didn't know wearing his band shirt. Just passed them in the street. And he knew he had made that shirt, but he didn't know who the hell that guy was wearing it. It was a really surreal moment for him, right?
I can relate to that. I was taking this guy train, and someone comes up and he's like, moniker, right? And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, the band was close to dying at that point, but he came up and was like, yeah, you know, awesome. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then one of the gigs we ever played, we were playing downtown at Funky Wicker Beans, and
still one of the best names.
Oh, so good. And then like halfway through our set, this guy bolts in, like just gets in, gets a stamp, runs straight up to the front, and just starts headbanging as hard as he possibly can. And we're like playing to like 3 people at that point. And so this guy came in and was rocking out so hard and just invigorated us. We like came back double for the next song, and just like we're going nuts, and it was great. It was then at the end of the show we got off and we're like, hey man, thanks for coming. He spoke like not a lick English.
Oh really?
And was just like, I'm German, heard you Germany, saw you're playing.
Happened to be. That's crazy.
And and he had just been in Canada. He came to Canada and saw they were playing, and like came to see us. And we're like, you heard us in Germany? He's like, and then he barely spoke in English, so we could barely get anything out. But it was like those cool moments where your music goes beyond just your circle of friends.
Oh, totally.
And then you end up, you know, having, like, I've had people at EB Games talk to me about Support the Scene, or about some of the Hammer Records stuff. People saw me in the street and talked to me about, like, oh, I saw your video with so and so. You know, and I recognize you. And I'm like, I know, that's cool.
It hits me sometimes, every now and then, randomly, that I think, like, somebody could be watching me on YouTube right now. Like, it's like, but I just kind of, you put it out there and you move on. For a week, you're thinking about that last video you put on, but then you move on and you roll on. And I've had the same thing now. Like, actually, I was just talking with one of the guys for Rekt Chords like a week ago. And he is like, oh yeah, I'm also a big fan of Local Band Smokeout. I was like, oh cool, thanks. Like, I'm glad you enjoy the show, because just like playing in a band, you feed off that, right? Like, for me, the reason I go nuts on stage is it's a comfort thing. Like I say, I'm always comfortable playing my stuff on stage, but I wouldn't be comfortable if I stood in one place and looked at the crowd. But I'm a big Flea fan, so I kind of just go Flea on stage and bounce around. I'm the one who can do that on stage too, because Luke has got to stay anchored at the mic most of the time. Josh had his drums, so I get the virtue of getting to do that. But then it lets the people in the audience just all of a sudden kind of let loose too. They feed off of it, and then it becomes a bit of a perpetual motion machine that way.
You gotta put out that energy in order to get that energy.
Exactly, and that's the same thing for the show. Like I was saying with, I always expect to get some negative feedback because I'm a cynic. But the fact that people will pop up just unexpectedly out of nowhere to say like, oh man, I love the show. And it's like, oh, it's cool because I didn't show it to you. Like, I spend so much time, you know, not shamelessly self-promoting, but just trying to say, hey, you'd enjoy this, check it out. And it means I gotta sit through watching a video of myself.
I know,
So it's great when, other people or someone says, oh yeah, my buddy showed me this, or something, you know, I really do, I definitely appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you for coming out. This is Jade here with Support the Scene. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Check out all of our other interviews. Check out our live videos. I'm trying to remember everything's on the channel. And check out our new Sunday show that's happening every Sunday with our two amazing hosts, Keller and Leandro. And hope you guys enjoy Support the Scene and check out some shows this weekend coming up. And tell us your band social media and all the handles where we can find you.
So I think Social Silence is all just at Social Silence BC, all one word. If you're looking for us on Spotify, though, you do got to make it Social Silence one word, because somebody had Social Silence already. So the band name is Social Silence, 2 words, but if you're looking for it on Spotify, it does have to be that way. Then if you want to send me music, you can send it to localbandcanada@gmail.com. And then find us at Local Band Canada. The show is Local Band Smokeout Canada, but that's a bit of a mouthful, so if you put in at Local Band Canada on anything, you'll find us. Jester Events is my event page, so find that on Facebook. I got a show coming up in January in Nanaimo, but no info on that yet online, but send us a like. I always appreciate the support. And
awesome.
Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys later. See you. Hey, it's James from Support the Scene. If you're interested in being interviewed or want to be featured on our channel, please comment down below or find us on Facebook and message us, and we'll get back to you as fast as we can. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rock on.